Right, welcome to our lesson today. Today we're going to be looking at what we call percentage change. That's what we're going to be focusing on today in our lesson today. Um, Usually the prices of things will always go up or sometimes they will always go down. So in example one, we're going to be thinking about the price of a t-shirt, which we have in front of us here, which is £40 at the moment. If the price is going to go up by 20%, for example, how much is the price going to be after that 20% increase? Okay, so we're going to be looking at questions like that. So we're going to be increasing numbers by certain percentage and we're going to be decreasing numbers by certain percentages. Okay, so example one says increase 40%, increase £40 by 20% without using a calculator. So thinking about this t-shirt we have in front of us, the price now is £40, but the shop has said that they're going to increase the price by 10%, by 20%. So how much is it going to be when the price goes up? Okay. Now the first thing we need to remember is that we were learning early in our previous videos on percentages how to get 10% of a number, and we say that if you're getting 10% of a number, you've got to divide that number by 10. That's one thing you need to remember. If you're getting 10% of something, it's like you're dividing it into 10 parts, right? So if I'm getting 10% of 40, I will need to divide the 40 by 10. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to get 10% of that number. The number you're talking about is 40, all right? Now, 40 divided into 10 is basically 4 because there are 10 fours, there are 10 fours in basically, there are 4 tens in 40. So the answer is 4 there. Okay, but you see with this one here, we've been asked to find 20%. So I will then need to find 20%. Now, if 10% is 4, then 20% of 40 is going to be 4 times by 2. You're going to double that because 20 is basically double 10, right? So you get 10% of 40, which is 4. Now 20% is going to be double. The 10 is 4, so therefore the 20 is going to be basically is going to be 8. Okay, so that's what we're having here at the moment, right? Now what that means is that the price of this t-shirt is going to go up by £8, right? So the new price is going to be the £40, which it is now, and then you're going to need to add the £8. So the answer is going to be £48. Okay. So the price of the t-shirt goes up, you're going to need to pay £48 for it. Okay. So that's how to do that. So number one, get the 10%. Once you've got the 10%, then you could double that to make 20%, and then you just add it on. Increasing means that you're adding on. The price is going up. Okay. Now let's look at this other one here, whereby the shop is offering a 15% discount on all clothes. What is the discounted price of a jacket that normally sells for £65? What they're saying is this: they're reducing the price of this jacket maybe after Christmas, okay? And the price is going to go down by 15%. So what we need to do here, first of all, we need to get 10% as usual. So get 10% of this as usual. 10% of £65. Okay. Now remember you're dividing 65 by 10. Now when you divide 65 by 10, remember that we normally have the decimal point hiding there in whole numbers. All right. Now when you divide this number by 10, the decimal point is going to make a jump forward. So then you're going to end up with 6.5. Okay. So if you do this, you're going to divide 65 divided by 10, which is going to be basically 6.5. And because it's money, you normally have to basically just add 0 at the end. Okay, so 6.50. But you see, it's not the 10%, it's basically the 15%, which means I also need to work out 5%, right? So 5% of 65. I need to work out what that is. Now, 10% of 65 is £6.50. It means that 5% is going to be half. It's going to be half of that. So what I need to do is basically to half £6.50. Now, half of 50 is going to be 25. So we're basically halving £6.50. Right? So half of 50p is going to be 25p, and half of 6 is basically 3. So the answer is £3.25. So it means this: the £10 is £6.50, the £5 is £3.25. Now, to find what the £15 is, you then need to now add up this to that. So 15 pounds is going to be £6.50, and we're adding to £3.25. And if you do that, you're going to find that the answer is going to be £9.75. Now, this £9.75 is what they're taking off for you. That's the discount. So you're going to pay £65, which it should be, but then they are cutting off for you £9.75. So you got to subtract. So subtract £9.75 there. Okay. Now let's do that. Now we can't do this, so we're gonna need to borrow 1 from this 5 here. So I've got 4 there, then the 1 goes there, then I've got 9 there. If you borrow, then I've got 10 there. Now 10 take away 5 is 5, 9 take away 7 is 2, 4 take away 9, we can't do that. So we borrow 1 from here, so I've got 5, and that becomes 14. 14 take away 9 is 5. And then 5 take away nothing is basically 5. So this jacket is going to be £55 and 25. Okay, so that's what's going to happen now. Okay, so hope you get that. So what I want you to do now, if you're going to pause the video now and have a go at this question. So pause the video and have a go at those questions, please. Okay, so I hope you tried them. So what I'm going to do now quickly, I'm going to do question A for you. If you're increasing something by 50%, right, you're going to be basically increasing by half, because 50% is basically just a half. Right? So remember, 50% of 20 is just going to be half of it, because there are two 50s in 100. So when you're getting 50%, we normally just half it, divided by 2. So it's going to be 10. So this 20 is going up by 10. So the new number is going to be 20 plus 10, which is going to be 30. Okay? So if you're increasing 20 by a half, you're just adding 10 to it, because 10 is half of it. So that becomes 30. Okay? So everywhere where you are having 50%, all you need to do, you basically need to get half of it and then just add it to it. So 50% of 40 is 20. If you just add it to the 40, it becomes 60. Okay. Now, if I do this one for you, remember, if you increase 90 by 10%, first you have to get 10% of it. So I've got 10% of 90. That's the first thing I need to do. Okay, so that's the first thing I need to do. So get 10% of 90, which is gonna be we have that off. So we're gonna get 10% of 90. Now when you get 10% of 90, you are dividing 90 by 10. Now 10 into 9, how many 10s are in 90? They're obviously 9. Okay? So that means that the 90 is gonna go up by 9. So the new number is gonna be 90 plus the 9, which becomes 99. Okay? Right, so that's gonna be we're gonna leave that there. We're gonna just stop there for that. Then we're gonna go over the remaining questions in the next video.